I still remember the exact moment my own family slammed the door in my face, while rain poured down like the world itself was rejecting me, because I was jobless, broke, and apparently useless to them. 5 years later, those same people were standing on my doorstep, dressed in their best clothes, forcing smiles, acting like nothing ever happened, and asking me for help. So before I tell you how that night in the rain destroyed me and how their return nearly broke me all over again, I need to ask you this straight up. If your family abandoned you at your lowest point, would you forgive them when you became successful, or would you do exactly what I did? That night still plays in my head like a movie I can't turn off. My clothes were soaked, my shoes were falling apart, and I had nowhere to go, because the people who were supposed to love me unconditionally decided I was a burden they didn't want anymore, all because I didn't have a job, all because I wasn't useful. And yet 5 years later, when everything changed for me, they showed up like ghosts from a past I tried desperately to forget. I didn't grow up poor. That's the part people always assume wrong. My family was solidly middle class. We weren't rich, but we never worried about food or rent. My dad worked in an office for over 20 years. My mom was a homemaker who loved reminding everyone how much she sacrificed. And I had 2 siblings, an older brother and a younger sister. From the outside, we looked like a normal, happy family. Inside the house, though, everything revolved around one thing: success. More specifically, visible success. Good grades, good job, good salary, good reputation. Love in my family wasn't free. It was conditional. My brother was the golden child. He did everything right. Top grades, engineering degree, stable job before he even graduated. My sister wasn't far behind. Always praised for being smart and responsible. And then there was me. I wasn't stupid, but I wasn't exceptional either. I liked creative things, writing, ideas, dreaming bigger than what my parents considered realistic. My dad used to say, "Dreams don't pay bills," every time I talked about what I wanted to do. Still, I tried. I studied business because that's what they pushed me into. I graduated, got an entry-level job, and for a while things were okay. Then the company downsized. I still remember coming home with that cardboard box, my name badge inside it, my hands shaking as I unlocked the front door. I thought my family would be disappointed, sure, but I also thought they'd support me while I looked for something new. I was wrong. From day one, the atmosphere in the house changed. My dad stopped talking to me unless it was to ask if I'd applied anywhere. My mom started making passive-aggressive comments during dinner like, "When your brother was your age, he was already promoted." My sister avoided me altogether, like unemployment was contagious. At first, I was optimistic. I applied everywhere. I sent out resumes daily. Weeks passed. Then months. Rejections piled up, or worse, silence. Every morning, I woke up with anxiety sitting heavy on my chest. Every night, I went to sleep feeling like a failure, and my family made sure I never forgot it. They started treating me like I didn't belong. My dad complained about electricity bills because I was home all day. My mom would sigh loudly when cooking, saying things like, "I didn't raise my kids to sit around doing nothing." One night, during dinner, my dad looked straight at me and said, "If you don't have a job soon, you'll need to figure something else out. We can't support a grown adult forever." That sentence scared me more than I'll ever admit. I was trying. I really was. But the job market was brutal, and every rejection chipped away at my confidence. Still, I thought they were bluffing. I thought family doesn't just give up on you. Then came the night it happened. It was pouring rain, the kind that soaks you in seconds. I came home late after another long day of interviews that went nowhere. I was exhausted, mentally and physically. As soon as I walked in, my dad was waiting in the living room. My mom stood behind him, arms crossed. My siblings were there too, silent, watching like spectators. My dad didn't even let me sit down. He said, "We talked as a family." That's when my stomach dropped. He told me they couldn't do this anymore, that I was dragging everyone down, that my presence was stressful. My mom added, "We love you, but love doesn't mean enabling laziness." Laziness. That word still hurts. I tried to explain. I told them I was applying everywhere, that I just needed more time. My voice was shaking, my eyes burning. My dad cut me off and said, "You've had enough time." Then he pointed to my bag by the door. He had packed some of my clothes already. That's when I realized they were serious. I asked where I was supposed to go. My mom shrugged and said, "You're an adult. Figure it out." My sister looked away. My brother didn't say a single word. They opened the door and told me to leave. I stepped outside into the rain, holding that bag, my heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. I turned around one last time, hoping, praying someone would stop me. No one did. The door closed. The lock clicked. And just like that, I was homeless. I walked for hours that night. Rain soaked through everything. My phone battery died. I ended up sitting under a bus stop shelter, hugging my knees, feeling smaller than I ever had in my life. I cried until my chest hurt, not just because I was broke or jobless, but because the people I trusted most had decided I was disposable. The next few months were hell. I crashed on friends' couches when I could. Some helped for a few days, some for a week. Eventually, the favors ran out. I spent nights in shelters, places I never imagined I'd be. I learned how invisible you become when you have nothing. People look through you, not at you. But something strange happened in all that misery. I stopped trying to please anyone. There was no family to impress anymore. No expectations to meet, just survival. And that freedom, twisted as it sounds, changed me. I found a small part-time job at a warehouse. It paid almost nothing, but it was something. I worked nights, unloaded boxes, came home sore and exhausted. During the day, I taught myself new skills online. Marketing, writing, digital stuff. I remembered all those dreams my dad mocked. And for the first time, I pursued them without shame. Years passed like that. Slowly, painfully but steadily, my life improved. I got a better job, then another. I started freelancing on the side. I failed a lot. I got scammed once. I burned out twice, but I never quit. Every rejection reminded me of that night in the rain, and instead of breaking me, it fueled me. By year 3, I was earning more than I ever had before. By year 4, I started my own small business. By year 5, I bought my own place. A nice one. The kind my parents would brag about if it belonged to my brother. I didn't tell my family any of this. We didn't talk. Not a single call. Not a message. At first that hurt. Then it became peaceful. I healed without them. I built a life without them. And that brings me to the moment everything came full circle. It was a quiet afternoon. I was working from home when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, my heart nearly stopped. There they were. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, standing on my doorstep, smiling like we were a happy family again. For a second, I couldn't breathe. All the memories came rushing back. The rain, the door closing, the bus stop. I almost slammed the door in their faces without a word, but I didn't. I just stood there, staring. My mom spoke first. "We finally found you," she said, like that was supposed to be comforting. My dad cleared his throat and said, "You've done well for yourself." That's when it hit me. They knew. Somehow they knew I was successful. Before I tell you exactly what I did next, I want you to pause for a second. Imagine this is you. Your family abandoned you when you had nothing. Years later, when you've built everything on your own, they show up like nothing happened. Would you let them in? Would you forgive them? Or would you protect the life you fought so hard to build? Comment below what you would have done in my place, because this is where everything changes. I invited them inside. Not because I forgave them, but because I needed closure. We sat in my living room. The same people who once said I was a burden now admiring my furniture, my space. The irony was almost unbearable. They didn't apologize. Not really. My mom said, "We were worried about you." My dad said, "We did what we thought was best." Not once did they say sorry for throwing me out. Instead, they talked about their problems. My dad had lost his job. My brother's company downsized. My sister needed help with rent. And then it came out. They needed money. They needed support. I felt something inside me snap, but it wasn't anger. It was clarity. I told them everything. I told them about the shelters, the hunger, the nights I thought I wouldn't survive. I told them how their rejection nearly destroyed me, but also how it forced me to become stronger than I ever thought possible. They sat there in silence, faces pale. Then I told them no. No money, no support, no pretending we were fine. I told them I didn't owe them the life I built after they abandoned me. I told them family doesn't throw you out in the rain and then come back when it's convenient. My mom cried. My dad looked ashamed for the first time in my life. My brother tried to argue. My sister begged, but I stood my ground. I walked them to the door. Before they left, I said, "I survived without you. I won't go backwards for you." They left, and when the door closed, I didn't feel guilt. I felt peace. Now, years later, I still think about it sometimes. Not with anger, but with understanding. I learned that family isn't defined by blood, but by who stands by you when you have nothing. I learned that rock bottom can be the foundation for something incredible if you refuse to give up. And I learned that self-respect sometimes means saying no, even when it hurts. So that's my story. If you were on my side, hit like on this video. If you want to hear more real, raw stories like this, subscribe to the channel. And please, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section. Was I wrong for turning them away, or would you have done the same? I'll see you all in the next story.